Memes asks perhaps a good ending question. Are minds a result of having Rulial limits? Is it the case that a mind like ours, that having a mind-like thing is a consequence of being limited with respect to sort of Rulial space? I think the answer is probably yes. I mean, it's kind of not, in some sense, what one hopes to hear, because we kind of like to think that we're sort of the top of the top. But actually, I think nature kind of has us outdone in terms of computation. We are really concentrated into this specific kind of computation that is this specific kind of sort of restriction in and I do think that the concept of our own coherent existence is also a result of sort of our restriction to a certain size. I mean, it's kind of like if you say, is there a thing here? Well, if it's all concentrated right there, well, maybe yes. If it's spread out as a gas, all over the surface of the earth or something, you probably don't say it's a thing that's there. And I think it's the same kind of thing here, that this notion of coherent existence, individual coherent existence, depends on this limitation that you are small relative to everything that's possible. And I think also that it is a characteristic of sort of our finite minds that we're limited with respect to Rulial space. And that gives us, I do think it's sort of a critical aspect of our experience that that's the way it is, leading to things like kind of the single thread of experience that is really key, I think, to our feeling of consciousness and so on. And I must say, as I was writing this piece, I was realizing that this fact that sort of brains came with animals, and animals are kind of things that are, there's just one animal and it's got to decide to go left or right type thing. It is a bizarre thought that the reason we have this whole stack, including sort of notions of consciousness and so on, is just because we're we have to decide where we're going to go. And this whole thing is sort of stacked on top of that very basic kind of requirement for the sort of viability of animals is at some level is kind of it tells us that we're sort of we are the consequence of history, and even these very core features of us are the consequence of history. And talking of where one has to go, I need to go because I'm really late for things I'm supposed to do for my day job. But thank you very much for joining me for this. And you can find this piece in my writings website, got posted today. And it's a difficult piece, but I hope that I've been able to help sort of present it in a way that makes it more accessible. And there's much more to figure out along these lines. I'd love to be able to have more to say. I'd love to be able to know what Wolfram language for the bigger brain looks like and so on. I don't know that yet. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.